Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair. Ad-darsu al-khamis ashara, lesson number 15. So we have discussed the handouts in detail in the previous lesson, and today inshallah we start the text of the lesson. Al-mudarrisu, the teacher, Ya Yasiru, O Yasir, Innaka ghibta usbu'aini kamilaini. Innaka. Okay, what kind of sentence is this? Verbal or nominal? Nominal sentence. Okay, excellent. So it starts with inna. So we have ismu inna and khabaru inna. Where do we have ismu inna over here?
Ka.
Excellent. Ka is ismu inna. And we know that this is basically a damir. So whenever we have a verb after that, normally the verb after that will be khabaru inna. Basically, the verb itself is not khabaru inna. The damir that we have inside it, like ghibta, yani anta ghibta. So basically, anta will be khabaru inna. Perfect. So innaka, as we know, ka is ismu inna, and ghibta is the past tense. Ghaba yaghibu, ghiyaban, to be absent, and ghibta usbu'aini kamilaini. Okay, why do we have usbu'aini kamilaini mansub? Why is it mansub?
Because the fi'l fa'il is there.
Excellent.
Subject
Perfect. Very good. So we have ghibta, basically ghaba is the verb. Ta basically anta is the fa'il, and usbu'aini kamilaini is basically maf'ul bihi. Excellent. So innaka ghibta usbu'aini kamilaini. Indeed, you were absent for two complete weeks. And now we have the introduction of conditional sentence. In taghib بعد هذا تفصل. Okay, in taghib. So taghib, this is the present tense. غاب يغيب. So this one was basically taghibu. It was taghibu, and it has become majzoom because of in. So it has changed into taghib. As you can see over here, it is basically taghibu, and we know that whenever the verbs, especially the verbs that have weak letters in the present tense, whenever they become majzoom, normally the weak letter gets dropped. So that's why it has changed into taghib. And we know that basically what happened when we use in before that, then the ending becomes sakin. So ya is sakin and ba is sakin. So when we have iltaqa sakinin, we know that the weak letter will be dropped. So that's why it becomes in taghib. In taghib ba'da hadha, if you get absent after this, tufsal. What kind of verb is this? Active or passive? Passive. Is it marfu or majzoom? Majzoom. Excellent. So basically, what's the difference between marfu and majzoom? Marfu means that it ends with dhamma. It ends with dhamma. And when dhamma has been dropped for some reason, in this case it has been dropped because of harf shart in, so that's why it has become tufsal. So the ending has become majzoom. So we know that in this is adatu shart, and it makes two verbs. It makes them majzoom. So taghib has become majzoom, which is basically shart, and tufsal is jawab shart. It has also become majzoom. In taghib ba'da hadha tufsal. If you get absent, or if you are absent after this, you will be struck off, or you will be expelled. فَإِنَّ again we have over here فَإِنَّ اللَّائِحَةَ تَنُصُّ عَلَى أَنَّهُ مَنْ يَغِيبَ or مَنْ يَغِيبْ أَكْثَرَ مِنْ أُسْبُوعَيْنِ يُطْوَى قَيْدُهُ. Okay, فَإِنَّ, what kind of fa is this? In the previous lesson we have discussed different types of fa, if you remember. Fa, since it comes in the beginning of the sentence, so we can say this is fa al-istinafiya. Yani sometimes it comes in the beginning of the sentence to start a sentence. And we know inna has always ism, and we can see that ismu inna is Allah-ihata, which is the singular, and the plural is lawa'ihu, rules and regulations. Indeed, the rules and regulations, tanussu, nassa yanussu. So tanussu means indicate or specify, and it comes with the verb of ala, tanussu ala, annahu, that. So why it's annahu, why not innahu?
Because it's not the start of the sentence.
Excellent. It's not the start of the sentence. And normally after the verb, we use anna. After the verb, normally we have anna, like ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. So normally anna comes after the verb, or as you said, it comes in the middle of the sentence. Okay, who refers to what? If you can answer this question, I would be so happy. Annahu, because you know that whenever we use who or ha,
Students.
Students should be annahum, and la'ihata is feminine, so it should be annaha. So this is called, if you remember, I told you that it is called basically damir al-sha'n. Damir al-sha'n is basically who and ha. Sometimes it is used only for the emphasis. It doesn't have any marji', yani it doesn't go back to anything. For example, you say, he is a doctor. So you will say, innahu tabibun. Innahu tabibun. If you want to say, it is raining, so you will say, innaha tumtiru. Innaha tumtiru. So what happens basically, sometimes inna, after that inna we have who or ha. So they come only for the purpose of emphasis. For example, innahu kana tawwaba. Innahu kana tawwaba. So here basically who doesn't refer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It can, but basically it is used for the emphasis. So what do we call it? Damir ash-sha'n. Damir ash-sha'n means it does not need anything before it that it should refer back to it. So annahu, that or indeed, man yaghib akthara min usbu'aini yutwa qayduhu. Yaghib, so we can see here that man is basically again adatu shart. Yaghib is majzoom over here. It was basically yaghibu. Akthara. It is why it is mansub, why it has fatha, akthara. Because it is maful bihi. Maful bihi, right? Yeah, so man yaghib, yani yaghib is basically fail plus fa'il. Akthara min. And you know that after akthara min, when we have min after that, and then it is used for the comparative. If we don't have min after that, it will be superlative. So man yaghib akthara min usbu'aini, whoever is absent for more than 2 weeks, yutwa qayduhu. Tawa yatwi, to fold. Yutwa, is it active or passive? Come on.
Passive.
It's passive.
Passive.
Excellent. So if you look at this, tawa yatwi is the regular form. Tawa yatwi, to fold something. And if you make passive, it will be tuwiya yutwa. Tuwiya yutwa. And we know over here that yutwa is basically majzoom because of man. So this is verb number 1, or this is shart, which is majzoom, and yutwa is jawab shart, which is verb number 2. This is also majzoom. So what happened over here, basically, ya or alif maqsura basically has been dropped because of man. So this is passive. Yutwa qayduhu, yani his name will be removed from the register. Qayduhu, if you remember, tawa yatwi, qayduhu, we discussed about this, that huwa ala qaydihi hayatihi, that he is still alive. So qayd is basically used for something that is under control. And when we say yutwa qayduhu, that means that his name will be struck off from the registration, or his enrollment will be cancelled. So فإن اللائحة تنص على أنه من يغب أكثر من أسبوعين يطوى قيده. Indeed, the rules and regulations indicate that whoever is absent for more than 2 weeks, his name will be struck off, or his enrollment will be cancelled. Yasiru or Yasirun basically. Lan aghiba ba'da hada insha'Allah. All right, so we know that harfilan is used basically for the future, and it is one of those huruf which makes the mudari mansub. It gives the meaning of will. So lan aghiba, I will not, will not. So lan aghiba ba'da hada insha'Allah. I will not be absent after this insha'Allah. Al-mudarrisu, kam marratin qulta li hakada. Okay, what kind of kam is this?
This wondering.
Yes, excellent. We call it Kam al-Khabariya, which basically gives us a news, and this is basically used to express wonder. It's used for exclamation. So what is the difference between Kam al-Istifhamiya and Kam al-Khabariya? After Istifhamiya, which is used to ask a question, the noun will be mansoob. The noun will be mansoob. But when we have Kam al-Khabariya, then after this the noun will be always majroor. And it gives the meaning of like how many times. It is used for times. Kam marratin qulta li hakadha. How many times you said to me like this. So this is basically used to express, and here the exclamation mark confirms over here that this is not used for asking a question. It is used to show ta'ajjub, for exclamation, like how many times did you tell me like this, or how many times you told me like this. Yasirun ma kuntu aghibu illa bi'udhrin. Ma kuntu, I was not. Aghibu, okay, so kana yakunu. You know that kana is used for the past tense, and the thing that we know about kana is that whenever we use, whether we use the present tense or the past tense, we have to use the conjugation of kana, whether we use present or past. For example, if we say kana ghaba, if it's the past tense, kana ghaba, kanu ghabu. So if the past tense is singular, then we have to use the singular of the verb as well. If it is masculine, then we have to use masculine, and if it's feminine, then we have to use feminine. So basically kana comes with both present tense and past tense. So whatever form of kana we use, we have to use the similar kind of verb after that, whether the verb is past or present. So we can see here kuntu is what? Which verb is this? Present or past?
Past tense.
Past. Okay, verb form number what? Do you remember? 13. If you do the conjugation of kana, so it will be kana, kana, kanu, kanat, kanata, kunna, kunta, kuntuma, kuntum, kunti, kuntuma, kuntuna, kuntu. Right? Kuntu. So kuntu is number 13. That's why after that we have to use the present tense. If we are using, we have to use the present tense of also number 13. So yaghibu, and if you do the conjugation of yaghibu, so yaghibu, taghibu, aghibu, so aghibu is also number 13. So this is the most beautiful thing that we need to remember about kana. So whatever we have the form of kana, we have to use the similar verb of the tense, whether it is present tense or past tense. With the present tense, it gives the meaning of like I was not. Ma kuntu aghibu, I was not absent. Illa, except bi'udhrin, for a reason or with an excuse. Yani I was absent because I had an excuse, or I had like an excused absence. Yani I was absent because I had an excused absence. Or it can be ma kuntu aghibu, I was not to be absent illa bi'udhrin, unless I have an excuse. So it can be translated in either way. It can be translated as except, and it can also be translated as unless. Mahma yakun al-udhru falan yuqbala ba'd al-ana. So mahma, as we know, whatever yakun, it was basically yakunu. It was basically yakunu, so it has become majzum. Why it has become majzum? Because of mahma.
Shart.
Yeah, because mahma is harf shart. So yakun is harf shart, and falan yuqbal is jawab shart. Mahma yakun al-udhru, whatever the excuse may be, falan yuqbala ba'd al-ana, it will not be accepted after this. Okay, why do we have fa over here? We have learned that there are several muqamat or places where we have to use fa, and whenever we have jumlatun ismiyatun, we have to use fa, and then whenever we have istifham, amr and nahi, we have to use fa. And from this lesson we have to learn that whenever we have lan in jawab shart, we have to use fa with that. Do you remember that? So whenever we have lan in jawab shart, we have to use fa with that. So mahma yakun al-udhru, whatever the excuse may be, فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ بَعْدَ الْآنَ, it will not be accepted after this. يدخل النعمان, Nu'man enters. من جاء متأخرا, whoever comes late. فلا يدخل حتى يستأذن, he should not enter until he seeks the permission. Man, as we can see over here, is أداة الشرط, and جاء is اسم الشرط, or basically verb. This is فعل الشرط. Okay, is it present or past?
Past tense.
Past. Is it مرفوع or is it مجزوم?
مرفوع.
لا, it's محلا مجزوم, يعني it's مجزوم in the place of jazm. Now it is مجزوم, but because it is, please remember that all the past tenses, all the past verbs are مبني. They are fixed. They will not change. So we will say that this is in the place of, basically it's in the place of jazm. So this is مجزوم محلا مجزوم يعني. Okay, متأخرا. What about متأخرا? Why is it منصوب?
مفعول به. مفعول به.
It could be مفعول به, but normally it is used as حال. It would be حال as well. Yes, so whoever comes late. Excellent. So it can be مفعول به as well. Whoever comes late. فلا. Why لا has fa over here?
Ja is there the fi'l and fa'il, so that's
Yes. Yes, I agree. Okay, why fa, la has fa over here?
Because it's negative command.
Excellent, because this is a command, it's a prohibition basically. Okay, يدخل, what kind of verb is this? Present, of course. It's مجزوم. Okay, is it the direct command or indirect command? That's the basic question. Basically,
Indirect command.
Okay, فلا يدخل.
Like clean up.
So what will be the translation?
He may not.
Excellent, perfect. He should not or he may not. يدخل, he should not or he may not enter. حتى يستأذن, until he seeks the permission. Okay, حتى here it gives the meaning of until. Yesterday we discussed, or in the previous lesson, that حتى has two meanings. Either it is translated as until, or it will be translated as so that. So we will see here as well. Okay, حتى is also one of the adat or one of the huruf which makes the mudari mansub. It makes the mudari mansub. So that as you can see here, it was yasta'dhinu, but because of hatta it has become yasta'dhina. Okay, now do you know the reason like why it functions like that? Because the grammarians say that there is a hidden an into that. Excellent. Hatta an yasta'dhina. So now it makes sense. But of course we know that an is not used, but we know that it is hidden into that. So basically because of an it has become mansub. An-Nu'manu, ana asifun, I am sorry. Asifun is on the pattern of fa'ilun, I am sorry. Ra'aytuka mashghulan, I saw you busy. So ra'aytuka, as we can see here, fail plus fa'il. Ra'aytu is basically fail plus fa'il. Ka is maf'ul bihi. I saw you mashghulan, in a state where you were busy. That's basically hal, yeah. So I saw you that you are busy. فَدَخَلْتُ حَتَّى لَا أَشْغَلَكَ. So I entered so that I should not or I may not distract you. فَدَخَلْتُ. Okay, دَخَلْتُ is the past tense over here. So why fa has been added to it? Yes, please, come on. Different kinds of fa we have discussed. Yes.
Yes, sir.
This is which one? This is basically the connecting one. Fa, yes, the one that is used to connect two tenses, two sentences, two verbs, or two nouns. So in this case, it is connecting two verbal sentences. Both of them are past. Ra'aytuka is the past tense. Ra'aytuka mashghulan. So this is the past tense. فَدَخَلْتُ, so this is also the past tense. So this is here we will say that عَطَفُ جُمْلَةٍ عَلَى جُمْلَةٍ, that we have a ataf of jumla with the jumla. Please remember that ataf always comes like this: verb with verb, noun with noun, verbal sentence with verbal sentence, and nominal sentence with nominal sentence. فَدَخَلْتُ, so I entered. حَتَّى لَا أَشْغَلَكَ, so that I do not distract you. So we can see over here that here it is used as until and here it is used as so that. And most of the times we will see from the context like whether it is used as until or it is used as so that. يدخل المراقب, the controller comes or enters. المراقب ها إعلانا مهما. ها does someone remember the meaning of ها It means خذوا. لا, it means خذوا, take. خذوا. Okay, when you are talking to a plural masculine, then you will say ها take. خذوا. If it is ها for singular masculine, ها for singular feminine, ها for masculine, for masculine plural, and ها for feminine plural. We discussed in the handouts. So ها you all take. إعلانا. Okay, إعلانا is mansub. Why?
مفعول به.
مفعول به of ها because we know that ها is a verbal noun. Basically it's a noun, but it gives the meaning of verb. So it has basically أنتم يعني خذوا, يعني أنتم خذوا إعلانا مهما. All of you there is take this important announcement, or there is an important announcement for all of you. إعلانا is mawsuf and muhimman is sifa. There is an important announcement for all of you. هذه خمسة كتيبات. These are 5 booklets. So kitabun, we know that kitabun means a book, and kutayibun is basically tasghir, ismul tasghir, as we have seen in the previous lesson that sometimes a noun, for example, from jabalun we say jubailun, from tiflun we say tufailun, and from kitabun we say kutayibun. Why it has become kutayibun? Because it has a weak letter inside it, alif. So alif was dropped and it has changed into kutayibun. And the plural of kutayibun is kutayibatun. هذه 5 كتيبات. These are 5 booklets. مفيدة, useful. So كتيبات is موصوف, مفيدة is صفة. تحوي, which contain. قصصا إسلامية, which contain Islamic stories. So why we have the verb تحوي over here? Because كتيبات, as we know that it's a broken noun and it is treated as singular feminine. That's why the verb that we are going to use for this will be also for the singular feminine. Tahwi, it contains. So tahwi has a hidden dhamir inside it. Yani hiya tahwi. So it will be fail plus fa'il. And qisasan will be maf'ul bihi, and islamiyatan will be the sifa. So qisasan is masuf and islamiyatan is sifa. So these are 5 booklets, useful booklets which contain Islamic stories. فمن يقرأها ويجيب عن الأسئلة الواردة في آخرها فله جائزة. All right, so now I would like to see if you are able to tell me or break it down. So fa, as we can see over here again, it's in the beginning of the sentence, so most of the times it is istinafiya and it is used to start a sentence. Man is adatu shart. Yaqra'ha, yes, it was basically yaqra'u. Yaqra'u, so it has become majzoom, and ha refers to the kutayyibat, as we can see here. So faman yaqra'ha wa yujib. Okay, I want to know about yujib. Please tell me about yujib.
Yujib is majzoom because of man.
Okay, what is the original verb?
Yajibu.
Yujibu, excellent. Yujibu means
Yujibu.
answers. Yes, answers. So faman yaqra'ha, so whoever reads it, wa yujib, and answers anil as'ilatil waridati, the following questions, fi akhiriha, in the end, falahu ja'izatun, he will get a prize. Okay. Falahu ja'izatun. Why do we have fa with lahu?
Because it's a nominal sentence. Mubtada mu'akhkharan. Jar majroor.
Excellent. So basically, this is mubtada, ja'izatun, and lahu is khabar. So this is a nominal sentence, and we know that with the nominal sentence, when it happens to be jawab shart, then it takes fa with that. So that's why fa is connected to that. Falahu ja'izatun. So faman yaqra'ha wa yujib anil asilatil waridati. So whoever reads it and answers the following question, fi akhiriha, in the end, falahu ja'izatun, so that he will get a prize. فمن أراد. Again we have man. So أراد is the past tense. It is محل مجزوم. فمن أراد, whoever wants. أن يشترك, to participate. Whoever wants to participate. في هذه المسابقة, in this competition. فليسجل اسمه عندي. Let him register his name with me. Alright, so as we can see here, man again is أداة الشرط. أراد is مجزوم, but this is the past tense, so this is محل مجزوم. فعل plus file. أن يشترك is مفعول به. في هذه المسابقة, in this competition. فليسجل. Okay, what kind of أداة is this? Yes, so we call it لام الأمر. لام الأمر, yeah.
لام الأمر
لي,
indirect command.
yes, لي فل وال ثم ال. Excellent. فليسجل, so why it is مجزوم? Because of فل. فليسجل, let him register اسمه عندي, his name with me. So whoever wants to participate in the competition, let him register his name with me. Ibrahim. Ya Shaykhu, O Sheikh. La, yes, please complete this. La.
نجدك.
Najiduka, yeah. So don't make it majzoom because there is no reason to make it majzoom. La najiduka, we don't find you. So what kind of la is this? La an nafiya. Just for the negation. Yani la adhab ila al-amal, I don't go to work. So this is la akul samaka, I don't eat fish. So this is basically for negation. La najiduka, we don't find you. Fi maktabika, in your office. في كثير من الأحيان, most of the times. So this is also an expression like في كثير من الأحيان, most of the time. حين is basically the noun and the plural is أحيان. So we don't find you in your office most of the times. إن لم تجدوني في مكتبي فستجدونني في مكتب المدير. إن لم تجدوني. So again we have in over here, which is أداة الشرط, and again we have lam connected to that. تجدوني, it was basically تجدونني. تجدونني, excellent. So the noon has been dropped. إن لم تجدوني, and what kind of noon is this? نون الوقاية. It comes with the verb and it comes with يا المتكلم, right? So it comes with يا المتكلم. It is additional noon which is basically used for, we call it نون الوقاية, which is used for the protection. So إن لم تجدوني, if you don't find me, في مكتبي, in my office, فستجدونني في مكتب المدير, then you will find me in the office of the manager. Okay, here, why here the verb is not majzoom? Quickly. Here it is majzoom, right? Tajidu, it is tajiduni. It was basically tajidunani. But here it is not majzoom. Why?
Because there is no
Excellent.
reason.
When fa is added to jawab al-shart, when fa comes with that, then the verb will not be majzoom. The verb will not be majzoom. Excellent, because of fa. If we don't have fa over here, then the verb will be majzoom. It will be satajiduni. But when we add fa to that, please remember, very important point over here. When we add fa to that, then the verb will not become majzoom. So fa has basically protected it. فَسَتَجِدُونَنِي فِي مَكْتَبِ الْمُدِيرِ, then you will find me in the office of the manager. Is this point clear over here? Okay, Ya Fadilat al-Shaykhi, O honorable or respected Shaykh, Inna, indeed, Abdullahi, indeed Abdullah, Fi Maktabi is in my office. Indeed, Abdullah is in my office. It's a very easy sentence. I'm sure you can analyze it. In i'tadara ilayka, if he apologizes to you, afatasmahu lahu bid-dukhuli, will you allow him to get in? Yes. In, we know that this is majzoom. Sorry, it is sakin bil jazm, and when we connect it with hamzatul wasl, then it takes kasra. In i'tadara ilayka, if he apologizes to you, أفتسمح له بالدخول. Okay, why do we have fa over here?
Question.
Exactly, we have a question word over here. So we know that whenever jawab shart is nafi, whenever it is istifham, or whenever it is amrun or nahyun, then we use fa with that. And we know that basically hamzatul wasl comes before fa, and this is the condition, one of the conditions, that it always comes before fa. We cannot put it after that. So that's why it is afatasmahu lahu bid-dukhuli. Will you allow him to get in, or will you allow him to enter? So if he apologizes to you, will you allow him to enter? What does the teacher say? Na'am, yes. Yakhruju al-muraqibu, the controller leaves. Ya Ahmadu, O Ahmad, iqra al-ayata, read the verse. Al-waridata, the following. Fi darsi, in the lesson. So the teacher says, O Ahmad, read the following verse in the lesson. Ahmad says over here, بعد الاستعاذة والبسملة. Isti'adha, we have taken this. Isti'adha yasta'idu isti'adatan, to seek refuge. Basmala yubasmilu basmalatan is a verb which consists of 4 root letters. It consists of 4 root letters. Inshallah, we will take it in lesson number, I guess, 25 or 26. So, بعد الاستعاذة والبسملة, after seeking refuge and after reading or reciting Bismillah. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن تنصروا الله ينصركم ويثبت أقدامكم. Oh, you believers. Yes, الذين آمنوا. Do you remember yesterday I told you there was a question like, why do we have الذين and why do we not we have اللاتي? Why it's not يا أيتها اللاتي آمنا?
Male and feminine calling. That's why.
Yeah, because when the audience is mixed, it's both men and women, and then we always use the masculine form of the noun. So ya ayyuhalladhina, those who amanu, believed, and we know that amanu, it has damir which goes back to alladhina. In tansurullah, so we know that in is adatu shart. It was basically tansuruna, and it has become majzoom because of in. So this is fi'l shart. In tansurullah yansurkum. So yansurkum, we can see over here that this is jawab shart, and this is also majzoom. Yansurkum wa yuthabbit aqdamakum, aqdamakum, and he will make your steps firm. And so wa is here basically used for connecting 2 ideas. So basically it is connecting yansurkum with yuthabbit. It's connecting it with that. Wa yuthabbit aqdamakum. Alhamdulillah, so one verse of the Quran we have completed this now. Ibrahimu limadha juzimat al-af'al al-waridatu fi hadhihi al-ayati ya fadilat al-shaykh. Okay, limadha, why? Juzimat, they have been made majzoom, so we know that this is passive. Juzimat al-af'al al-waridatu, the following verbs fi hadhihi al-ayati, in this verse. Ya fadilat al-shaykh, O honorable shaykh. All right, so what does the Sheikh say? Al-Mudarrisu in adatu shartin. In is adatu shartin, is an instrument of condition. Tajzimu fi'lain, and it makes 2 verbs majzoom. Nahwu, for example, in tajtahid tanjah. If you work hard, you will succeed. So you can see over here that in basically over here, it makes 2 verbs majzoom. It was tajtahidu, so it has become tajtahid, and tanjahu has become tanjah. In tajtahid tanjah, if you work hard, you will succeed. In tadhhab ila suqi adhhab ma'ak. If you go to the market, I will go with you. Again over here, tadhhab is majzoom and adhhab is also majzoom. So basically in makes two verbs, it makes them majzoom. So these are very good examples, as we can see over here, of in, and in is one of the most common adatu shart, which is used a lot in the Quran. So both in and idha are very common. Both in and idha are very common. But what is the difference between in and idha? Could you please tell me, someone, the difference between in and idha?
إذا is the غير مجزوم.
غير جازم.
إن
Excellent, excellent. إذا is غير جازم and in is جازم. Okay, does it give jazm to one verb or two verbs?
إذا in is the two words.
Okay.
إذا is the
لا.
إذا not
Exactly.
جازم.
Okay, which one is the أداة الشرط which makes one verb جازم? Do you remember that? لما, لما, and لا النهية, right? So all of them, and they make them مجزوم. Okay, but they make one verb مجزوم. For example, لم يلد ولم يولد. But they make two verbs مجزوم. Excellent. ويسمى الأول فعل الشرط, and the first one is called a verb of condition. والآخر جواب الشرط, and the second one is called answer to the condition. So يسمى, also again we can see that this is basically passive. سمى يسمي تسمية, سمي يسمى. So يسمى is basically passive, and that's why الأول is مرفوع. Why it is مرفوع? Because this is نائب الفاعل. It is نائب الفاعل. ويسمى الأول فعل الشرط. The first one is called فعل الشرط. So this is مفعول به. والآخر, and the second one جواب الشرط, and the second one is called جواب الشرط. وفي الآية الكريمة فعل الشرط تنشر, and in the verse of the Quran, the verb of condition is تنشر, وجوابه ينشر, and its answer is ينشر. والفعل يثبت, and the verb يثبت معطوف على ينشر, so it is معطوف على ينشر. And we have discussed about this in the previous slide, as we have seen over there, that معطوف is basically واو or fa. So basically they connect two sentences or two nouns or two verbs. أرجو, I hope, أن تكونوا, that you are able to, قد فهمتم, understand. So I hope that you are able to understand. Okay, تكونوا, why it is mansub? Why it is مجزوم? Is it مجزوم or is it mansub?
Mansub, yes.
It is mansub.
Mansub.
Excellent. It was تكونون, and the noon has been dropped. Why it has been dropped? Because of an. Excellent. قد فهمتم. I hope that you have already understood it. So قد, as we know, is used for emphasis. It means indeed. فهمتم is the past tense. So I hope that you have already, or indeed you have understood it. أتستطيع أن تذكر آية أخرى تحوي إن يا ياسر. So أتستطيع, are you able to, أن that, تذكر, to mention, آية, a verse, أخرى, any other verse, تحوي إن يا ياسر. So are you able to mention another verse which consists in O Yasir? Yasir says نعم بعون الله تعالى, or he says بعون الله, with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So sometimes we use بإذن الله, and sometimes we use بعون الله. So it's fatha, بعون الله ta'ala. Both of them means with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then the ulama and the grammarians, they always differentiate that بإذن الله and بعون الله, they are used in different contexts. That's very deep. So inshallah, when we reach that stage, we will be able to figure out. So sometimes we use بإذن الله, and sometimes we use بعون الله, with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قال تعالى, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِن تَعُودُوا نَعُدْ. But if you return to war, we will return. So in, as we can see, أداة الشرط, تعودوا, it was basically تعودون. So the noon has been dropped, and we know that when we drop noon for the plural, then we replace it with alif. نعود, it was basically نعود, and we know that نعود, when it is مجزوم, the ending becomes sakin. And now what do we have? We have iltiqa sakinen, we have waw and dal. So waw has to be dropped. Why waw has to be dropped? Because it is a weak letter. When we have iltiqa sakinen, so the weak letter has to be dropped. The weak letter always gets dropped. So it is وَإِن تَعُودُوا نَعُدْ. If you return to war, we will return. المدرس أحسنت, يعني أحسنت, you have done a good job. أيمكنك أن تذكر آية أخرى يا نعمان? Is it possible for you to mention or to narrate another ayah, O Nu'man? So this expression we have discussed many times. So inshallah, I'm sure you are able to understand it. أن تذكر آية أخرى يا نعمان. النعمان نعم بعون الله. Yes, with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قال تعالى, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِلَّا تَغْفِرْ لِي وَتَرْحَمْنِي أَكُمْ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. وَإِلَّا. What about إِلَّا? It is a combination of, it is basically a combination of in plus la. وَإِلَّا. It is a combination of in plus la. If, so basically this is in over here. So because of this in, basically the verb is majzoom over here. So وَإِلَّا تَغْفِرْ لِي. So we will say that تغفر is majzoom because of in, because this is adat al-shart. تغفر لي وترحمني. So wa is here used for atf. So basically تغفر لي and ترحمني, both of them are atf and matuf. أكن من الخاسرين. Why is أكن majzoom over here?
In will make two
Yes,
words
in
majzoom.
أداة الشرط وهي تجزم فعلين. Yes, so in is basically an instrument of condition which makes two verbs majzoom. So here we might be thinking like we have three verbs over here, but no, these two verbs are connected with waw, so that's why they will be considered as one verb, because they have been connected with waw over here. So that's why we will say that this is shart and akun is basically jawab al-shart. It was basically akunu, and you know that akunu, when we use when it is majzoom, it becomes akun, and then the waw gets dropped because it's a weak letter, so it becomes akun. Akun min al khasirin, I will be among the losers. So if you don't forgive me and have mercy on me, I will be among the losers. Okay, min al khasirin, this one is easier. Khasiruna, una, ina. So after the preposition, it becomes ina. So that's why it is min al khasirina. المدرس ما شاء الله إلا هنا أصلها in ولا النافية. As I told you that this is basically a combination of in plus it is a combination of la النافية. So Allah, that is used for negation. So this is basically for negation. If you don't forgive me, I will be among the losers. So we can see over here that this is a combination of in plus la. Yes.
Yes, I have two questions. One is that if in the in sentences, when we have in and we have two verbs majzoom, we will not have fa there, right?
Fa can be added if we have lan after that, or qad after that, or we have seen after that, or sofa after that, or ka'annama after that. So if we have, inshallah, that's coming, yani, or if we have,
Okay.
so if we have those adawatu shart, when we have those, then it will be, fa will be connected to that.
Okay. And illa is always like this in plus la, or is it like the teacher says illa huna asluha? So sometimes it's in plus la and sometimes it's not.
It is basically exceptive as well. It's used for exception. And when we use it as for exception, then it means except only. But when it is used as, when we use it as adatul jazm, or when we use
Before
it
a
for,
verb.
yeah, before a verb, then it will be combination of in plus la. Illa.
Okay. Jazakallah khair.
وإياكم. Okay, I think inshallah we will complete up till here, and then we will continue in the next lesson. So أحمد أثمة أدوات أخرى تجزم فعلين يا أستاذ. So you remember we have learned about thamma, and now we have thammata. What's the meaning of thammata? Ya Allah, I hope you remember something. It means hunak. Athammata adawatun ukhra, are there other instruments? Tajzimu fi'laini ya ustadhi, which make two verbs majzoom. Okay, so we have learned about thamma and thammata. And now we can see here, because this is adawat is feminine, so that's why we have thammata over here. However, it is also possible that we can use thamma, is also possible to use over here. So we can see athamma adawatun ukhra tajzimu fi'laini ya ustadhu. But the most fasih or most suitable is that we use thammata. Why? Because adawatin is feminine. Athamma adawatun ukhra, are there hunak, yani are there other instruments which make two verbs majzoom. Thamma, do you remember the example of thamma from the Quran? It's
إذا
used
رأيت
twice.
ثم رأيت
وإذا
نعيما
رأيت
وملكا.
ثم رأيت نعيما وملكا كبيرا. Excellent. ملكا كبيرا. Perfect. And then we have again in 30th part, thamma, I don't remember the verse, but it's used twice in the
مطاع
Quran.
ثم أمين.
مطاع ثم أمين. Excellent. Perfect. Yes. All right. So whenever it is used in the Quran, it means huna or it means hunak. Perfect. Al-mudarrisu, naam, yes. In harfun. So what kind of sentence is this?
اسمي.
Yeah, it's a verbal, it's a nominal sentence, regular nominal sentence, which is a combination of mubtada and khabar. So in is harfun. In is mubtada and harfun is khabar. So in is harfun, and in is a harf. وهناك عشرة أسماء, and over there we have 10 nouns تجزم فعلين, which make 2 verbs مجزوم. So in is a harf, it's a harf, whereas the rest of them, all of them are nouns. They are nouns. عشرة أسماء تجزم فعلين, and there are 10 nouns which make 2 verbs مجزوم. أهمها, the most important among them. Aham is basically important, so أهمها, important among them, are man, means, for example, نحو فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خير يره. So as we discussed earlier, so basically man is over here. We can see this is adatu shart, and here man will be translated as who or whoever. It will be translated as whoever. Whoever. Why it will be translated as whoever? Because it is used as adatu shart. So whenever it is used as adatu shart, then it will be always used as whoever. فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ, so this is adatu shart. يَعْمَلْ is majzoom, and then مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ, so يَرَهُ is jawab shart, which is also majzoom. It was basically yarahu. It was basically yarahu, so alif maqsura has been dropped. So yamal is majzoom and yara is also majzoom. Mithqala is always used as mudaf, and dharratin is used as mudaf ilayh, as we can see here. So whoever does even a small particle of good, khairan is basically used here. We can see that this is I think, yeah, it should be maf'ul bihi, or it is used as hal. So maf'ul bihi would be better. So whoever does any particle of good or any item of good, yarahu, he will see it. When will he see it? On the day of judgment. Then we have ma. Ma means what, but here it means whatever. Nahu, for example, وَمَا تَفْعَلُوا مِنْ خَيْرٍ يَعْلَمْهُ اللَّهُ. Whatever good you will do, or whatever good you do, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows it. Okay, so it was basically taf'aluna. So because of ma, noon has been dropped. Okay, min khairin. What kind of min is this? Please, I hope you remember this. Is this harf jar?
La, sir. It is
Okay, this is used for emphasis. This is min, which is used for tawqeed. Please remember that ba and min, both of them are harf jar, ba and min, but most of the times they are also used for emphasis. Fahal min mazid, if you remember the example of the Quran we have discussed in one of the previous lessons, that min, sometimes when it comes with the noun by itself, and normally when the noun after that is a common noun, please remember that. When we have min and after that we have a common noun, then the possibility is that this min has been used for emphasis. وَمَا تَفْعَلُوا مِنْ خَيْرٍ, yani whatever you will do from good. So whatever kind of good is this? Min khairin, يَعْلَمْهُ اللَّهُ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will know it. So it was basically يَعْلَمُ, it was يَعْلَمُ, but because of ma, it has become majzoom. So that's why it is over here majzoom. So taf'alu is majzoom and ya'lam is also majzoom. So these small details, please, you need to remember these small details. MashaAllah, now we are halfway through from book number 3. So these small things like in everyday Arabic or regular Arabic or modern standard Arabic, we will say that this is min az-za'ida and ba az-za'ida. Alaysa Allahu bikafin. Similarly, alaysa Allahu bi ahkamil hakimin. So when we have ba and min in the Quran, then we will not say that this is za'ida. We will say that this is used for emphasis. This is used for tawqeed. So alhamdulillah, we have lots of information, and the reason why I always emphasize this information, because it's repeated again and again in the Quran. And our focus is to be able to understand Quran and to understand it and to learn it, and then inshallah to teach it to others as well. So if you don't pay attention, close attention to these small details, then you will not be able to appreciate the beauty of the Arabic language and the reason of learning the Arabic language, and ultimately we will not get what we want to get. So I would strongly recommend that please just go through all the previous lessons. I mean, just the handouts. Have a look at the handouts and try to remember those things, because inshallah, after this lesson, we will start a new journey where we have different kinds of lessons. So this lesson is very, very important. Please focus on this. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام.
جزاك الله خير.
وعليكم السلام.
وإياكم.